Hey everybody, welcome back to the MINIAC, and in today's video I have a 2020 Mini John Cooper Works convertible in Caribbean Aqua. Now, there isn't really anything that's changed with 2020 for the convertible aside from the shifter and the mirrors, but I figured I would go ahead and show you some things that are unique to the convertible models so that you get a better feel of what's special about this car. So, let's get to it. Alright then, so naturally there are two things common with all 2020 models that have changed for the 2020 model year, and those are the mirror caps, obviously, and of course, the transmission. In this case, it's the 8-speed automatic in the John Cooper Works versus the 7-speed DCT in the rest of the lineup. Now, some of you might ask, knowing that Mini is bringing back the manual gearbox in March of 2020, will this car come with it? The answer to that question is no. The 8-speed automatic is now the only transmission option available for the convertible John Cooper Works. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, as it is a fantastic transmission, but for those of you out there who love manual gearboxes, I understand your disappointment. But it's still a good transmission regardless, and it's still a fantastic car. So, with that in mind, let's go over some of the features on this vehicle. Now, naturally, it's in Caribbean Aqua, which in the US market is available only on the convertibles, although I would love to see it on the hardtops because I kind of like it, actually. Pretty color. We also have the piano black trim on the headlights, the piano black trim on the grille, and of course we have the piano black trim on the tail lights with the Union Jack tail lights, which are fantastic. And this one also has black door handles and a black gas cap. What it doesn't have that I wish it did, which would make this car a little bit cooler, is it doesn't have the black emblems on this one. It has the standard chrome ones. So the black ones would probably make this thing look even better. Now, for those of you who saw my video on the John Cooper Works Clubman, you'll know that the vents in the front of that vehicle are open because there's extra cooling. Now, if you notice in this one, that vent is shut, while this vent is open for an extra radiator for additional cooling. If this vehicle were, let's say, 300 horsepower, which the GP3 will be, these will probably be open on that car, on both sides. Under the bonnet, of course, we have the 2-liter, 228 horsepower, 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with 236 foot-pounds of torque. Now, I know in the past I've said 270. I was mistaken. It's 236 on the John Cooper Works. Now, nothing has really changed on this engine for the 2020 model year in the United States. And for those of you in the past who've complained that I show you the engine with the cover on it, we take the cover off and reveal the entire engine. So you get to see everything, as this is just a decorative trim cover. So nothing has really changed on this particular engine. And if you're curious what the engine code is, this is the B48A20T, which stands for B48 engine, A for automobile, 20 for 2-liter, and T for turbo. I learned this recently, so it's kind of neat information to have. Now, if you know what I told you about the coding for the Clubman and Countryman JCWs, that is the A20T1 on that particular one, which stands for the revised B48 engine. But let's put this cover back on. And of course, easy close. Inside, it's standard John Cooper Works fare with the nice leather-wrapped steering wheel with red stitching, the Dynamica, standard Dynamica seats, which are incredibly comfortable. These nice side bolsters really hold you in corners, and I just love them. I think it's a phenomenal interior, really comfortable. Plus, you still have space in the back for 2 people if you choose to do that. Or if you're like me and you drive the car by yourself, you don't have anybody in the back. This one also has Harman Kardon sound system, which is very nice. I love it. It does not have the touchscreen navigation, but does have the Mini connected system in the vehicle, so that's a plus as well. All in all, a nice, comfortable space, actually. Now, for those of you who want to carry cargo around, or your golf clubs, for example, there's still plenty of trunk space in this vehicle. I know it doesn't look like much, but if you fold the seats flat, you can fit more stuff through, and that's not a bad thing. These are the releases to open the seats so you can get stuff through. Now you might notice this thing here says easy load on it. Now what happens is when you pull this on both sides, it allows this whole rear section of the convertible top, when the roof is up, to tip upward. This is so you can get larger objects in the vehicle. Now, to allow you to do this so that you don't have to hold the top like I'm doing right now, you swing this arm back down and rest it right on the latch for the hatch. So now you can get stuff in and out. Now you also might notice, well, your parcel shelf is now blocking space. Neat thing about this, it tips up so you can get a full trunk area, so you can get more stuff in there. Now, another thing you might wonder is, well, with this shelf in the high position, what if I want to put the top down? Well, there's another neat little feature about that. There are these little buttons right here that detect when the weight of the shelf is on them. And what it does is it will not allow the top to go down unless this is resting on this. So you don't have to worry about damaging your parcel shelf or damaging your convertible top, and you can still get a lot of stuff in here if you need to carry your belongings or suitcases or what have you. Now, another great feature about most Minis is they have a comfort access system that allows you to open and close from the key fob or open and close from the button on the door. But this allows you to also open the top and close the top from the key fob. But here's another feature that some of you might not be aware of, is that when you push the unlock button and hold it, it rolls the windows down and it only opens the forward section of the top. This is a sunroof mode, so that you don't have to have the top fully open if you don't want the top to be fully open. So get a little bit of sun in here if you want it, and then you can close it if you don't want it. Now, the top will also open at slow speeds, so you can open the top fully at slow speeds, but that's a feature that's standard on most convertibles these days. And then you push the lock button again, it would close the top. Now, to open it completely, you push the unlock button again, and it will unlatch from the windshield and come down. Now, you want to make sure it comes down completely, and it will tell you when the top is fully seated by alerting you on the dash. You can also notice that it will latch in right here, and this top will slide forward slightly. So now your top is fully open on the car. Now, another neat thing about these Minis is if it's raining, or in some cases, given how cold it is right now, snowing, this windshield, the way the car is designed, if you have the windows rolled up on the sides, it actually prevents the rain and snow from getting into the car if you're traveling about 60 miles per hour, which is kind of a neat feature here and really helps so that you can have the top open as much as possible, though you probably won't always have the top open. But if you really want to be open top driving all the time, you can sort of still do that with this car. So that's kind of a neat thing. Okay, now some of you might be concerned about safety when it comes to driving a convertible. I mean, there's no roof on the vehicle. Well, here's a neat thing about this car. The windshield frame is basically steel inside here. There's steel pipes or steel rods inside the windshield that are designed to hold at least 3,000 pounds, which is basically the entire weight of the car. So in effect, if this car flips over, this windshield can hold the full weight of the vehicle. So that's a neat safety feature, because Mini is known about safety and they pride themselves on being incredibly safe. So along with that, you still have your airbags inside the seats, you still have your front airbags, and I imagine you might have airbags elsewhere. I just don't know where they are. Obviously you don't have the curtain airbag that you would have with the regular roof. As far as additional features are concerned, this one has the 18-inch cup spoke wheels, which are very nice. It has the Brembos, which are a staple for all John Cooper works, and these are no exception, and they're beautiful. I think they're fantastic brakes. They look good, the nice red detailing. It's a phenomenal looking vehicle overall. Now, what would make this even better, in my opinion, is if Caribbean Aqua were available in the US on all the hardtops as well, because I think it's a neat color, and I think it would look good on even a JCW hardtop. Now, you can't get that in the US. I think you can in the UK and other places in the world, but that's just me. I think it would be cool to have that color available on most of the models. But all in all, great vehicle. I think this one's about $42,000, $43,000, give or take. So not bad overall. And they're incredibly fun to drive. Even the convertible's incredibly fun to drive. It's just a great vehicle. Would I buy it? Well, if I had the room and I had the money, I wouldn't mind owning a John Cooper Works convertible. I think it'd be a fun vehicle. Now, the only reason I'm not going to take this car out to drive today is because this is going to be going into the showroom shortly as a showroom car. So we want to kind of keep this, or I should say, they want to try to keep this car as clean and tidy as possible. So I'm going to bring it back to where it was being stored so that they can have it for their showroom when they're ready. But it's just a beautiful car, and I love these seats. I love the detailing. Now, some people do get the higher end signature trim leather or signature upholstery with like the leather and everything, but I think for a John Cooper Works, you got to have the Dynamica seats, you got to have the fixed headrest, you got to have this interior because it just makes the car, it's comfortable, it's holds you in so you can go around those corners as fast as possible. It's just a great interior. Now, as far as performance is concerned, it does have the standard John Cooper Works exhaust. If you want to add the Pro exhaust, you can do that. It is still available in the United States as far as I know, and it doesn't increase the horsepower as much as it just increases the fun. It gives it, as a friend of mine would say, gives it more loud. It just gives it a more aggressive tone, and that's kind of something you want on a John Cooper Works. You want it to be an aggressive sounding car because it's an aggressively styled car. It's just really cool. But anyway, I'm gonna go put this car back where it was being kept so that it can be ready for the showroom. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like below. Don't forget to comment. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel as I upload videos every Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. So until next time, I just want to remind you all that life is too short to drive a boring car. So as always, drive a Mini. I'll catch you all later.